Ah, Halloween. The only day of the year where you're paid in candy for dressing up as your favorite fictional character. And whilst I've passed the stage in my life where I would feel the need to go out into the night looking for candy in a Barney costume, I still feel the need to sit down, put my feet up in the air, and find something ghoulish to watch on this Halloween occasion. That's why today I've teamed up with 3 of the spookiest and coolest YouTubers to bring you 5 things, or should I say 5 shows, that you should definitely check out this Halloween season. Let's get into it. If you're looking for a lighthearted show to watch with friends or by yourself, then The Ghost and Molly McGee is definitely the show for you. It's about the adventures of a Thai tween girl who has been cursed to be bound with a ghost named Scratch in the new town of Brighton. My favorite feature of this is the art style dedicated to Scratch whenever he wants to behave more animated or whenever he wants to show his ghoulish ways. It gives a nod to the paranormal inspirations behind the show, and is definitely something you should check out for when you're watching the show. Also, the chemistry between Scratch and Molly is one of the best aspects of the show, and it's a big reason why you need to watch it this Halloween.
Sup streaks, I'm Arteice, and if you grew up around the early 2000s, then you ought to know about this Cartoon Network Halloween classic, Scary Godmother, Halloween Spooktacular. Here's how the story goes. Jimmy and his friends are stuck with Hannah Marie, Jimmy's baby cousin, for Halloween. So in an effort to scare her away, it actually leads Hannah to meeting her scary godmother, and having the best Halloween ever in the Fright Side realm. Hannah finds friends in the monsters she once feared, and scares the older kids to teach them a lesson. This special is an adaptation from one of a small collection of books by the same name by Jill Thompson. The artists and animation team at Mainframe Studios did an astonishing job translating Thomas's character designs into CG while also making them stand out among the 2D backgrounds. This was the early days of computer-generated animation, so it might not look the best, but I think that's what makes this special so charming. It's truly a product of its time. Plus, every character has their own standout moment and personality that, along with their unique designs, just further adds to this special's charisma. Honestly, Scary Godmother wouldn't have the same vibe if it was either made or remade for the modern era. This series reminds me of a simpler time, and I'd rather much prefer a quiet Halloween night anyway. So if you're not into all the gore and horror that comes along with this holiday, but still want to get in the spooky mood of things, then this lighthearted, wholesome tale about a young girl facing her fears is right for you. Which I could definitely relate to both as a kid and an adult. It's become my Halloween tradition to watch Scary Godmother, and I hope you all find some enjoyment out of it too. Oh, and there's also a sequel, which is basically Jimmy being the Grinch of Halloween, but I don't give too much of a rat's ass about that little shit being redeemed. Freaking wannabe Bakugo-looking ass. Anyway, Stan Hannah Marie and Scary Godmother can get it.
Happy Halloween, streaks!
The comment of the day is this, and if you do want to be featured in the comment of the day, just leave a comment down below, and if you're lucky, you will be picked and shown in the next video.
Hello, it's ShadeX, and today I'm on CartooniVerse's channel for this big Halloween collab. I am a big fan of the Cartoon Network show Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I wanted an excuse to talk about it this year. I plan on reviewing the original show sometime later down the road, but for now, I'll briefly talk about the direct-to-video Scooby-Doo crossover titled Straight Out of Nowhere. I won't spoil too much since I highly recommend you all check this out if you are a Courage and Scooby-Doo fan. This film is the latest Courage project to come out since Fog of Courage from 2013, which was a CGI pilot for a potential revival that unfortunately did not see the light of day. This film came out 7 years later, and it was a surprise to be sure. John Dilworth is confirmed not to be involved with this film, but despite that, I really enjoyed it. According to Maxwell Adams, John didn't want to be involved since it was a crossover. Maxwell was offered to work on it as well, but he declined out of respect for his Cartoon Network colleague. With all that out of the way, I'll talk about the film. The film starts with Scooby-Doo running away when he hears a strange frequency after the Mystery Gang captures a clown criminal. They follow Scooby and end up in Nowhere, the iconic location from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Scooby and Courage meet up and get along real fast after realizing they both hear the same noise. That noise is actually a song from Courage's own show. It's a very neat reference. This film is really fun. I love seeing the Scooby Gang interact with Courage, Eustace, and Muriel. The main plot of the film is about Scooby and Courage fighting giant cicada monsters. The Scooby Gang and Courage characters manage to escape the monsters and go visit the mayor of Nowhere, a new character created for the film who has invited them to dinner. What I love about this part of the movie are the Courage Easter eggs all throughout the town hall. There are a ton in the town hall in the form of paintings, but the best Courage Easter eggs are shown in the Nowhere Museum, which features various items from the show. There's that mask the female cat wore in the Mask episode. There's also King Ramses' slab in the Haunted Mattress. One inclusion I loved was the cameo from the news guy from the Courage intro appearing on the TV in the museum. I really like this film. Scooby and Shaggy's interactions with Courage are a big highlight from this movie. I really like seeing Scooby and Courage team up towards the end after the gang gets captured. I really like the return of the computer as well. I really like that Marty Grabstein returned as Courage. Another thing I loved was Thea White's final role as Muriel. She died prior to the movie releasing, which is very saddening. What surprised me is that Muriel was her most well-known role in that she had a stage career prior to the original show. Rest in peace, Thea White. This movie is great and is definitely a love letter to the show. I can tell the crew behind this really cares about Courage the Cowardly Dog. The film has the scary atmosphere and charm of the original show. This originally was going to be an episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, but instead it turned into a feature film, which I think is a great decision. Overall, Straight Out of Nowhere is great. It's a fun watch. Also, Eustace raps in it. That's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you CartooniVerse for reaching out to me for this collab. This has been ShadeX, and I hope you all feel nothing but good vibes.
If I could recommend any show to watch during Halloween, it would be The Owl House. I love everything about it except for how it was treated by the networks. It has everything you could want in a story-driven show. Cool lore, interesting characters, comedy, and a cinnamon roll character. And me being the hyperactive fanboy that I am, it's time for me to engage in full fanboy activity. Y'all should already know from a previous video that I love The Owl House a lot. It's one of my favorite story-driven cartoons out there. Seriously, the vast amount of lore and characterization that's been put into Season 1 and Season 2A is astounding. For those not in the know, characterization is the creation or construction of a fictional character, and The Owl House has a whole lot of that. And believe it or not, that actually adds to the creepy vibes that the show gives off at times. Take Hunter, for instance. At the beginning of Season 2, we didn't even know his name, and he was simply referred to as the Golden Guard. We barely knew anything about him outside of the fact that he worked for Bellows. While nothing he does in his first appearance is inherently creepy, just the fact that we barely know anything about him adds an air of mystery to him, which can be creepy if done right. Just his demeanor and mannerisms give off a childlike vibe, yet we see how strong he is, and we even see him threaten Luz and Ida. Just the fact that we don't know much about him and his subtle and lingering air of mystery is just scarily cool to see. Bellows is a more direct example of how characterization can improve the creepy factor of a show. The way he moves during his fight with Luz gives off a scary and bone-chilling vibe. Some of the imagery and scenes in the show are pretty scary as well. And the show does a good job of scaring homophobes, so that's something.
Stop!
Overall, I think The Owl House is a great show to watch during this spooky season. That'll be it from me. Back to you, CartooniVerse. Bye!
Last but definitely not the least for this video is Paranorman. And I won't lie, this movie scared the shit out of me real bad. Like, I remember watching it for the first time as a kid and getting scared straight. I couldn't even finish it. But as I got older and I learned to appreciate the horror behind it, I actually took time to watch it and go through the whole thing, and you wouldn't believe how good it felt. The story basically follows our protagonist who can speak to ghosts and has to save the town from some ancient witch's curse. And because of that, everybody hates him. They call him freak, they make fun of him, they laugh at him, and eventually even his parents start doing the same thing to him, especially his dad. Man, that guy is a jerk. But with the power of dialogue and being able to talk out your problems, Norman eventually saves the town and becomes a hero. And it's as if all the components of a good creepy movie came together and Paranorman was born. If you look at the score, the plot, the art style, and even the stop motion, you can see that Laika actually put so much into making this, especially with the stop motion animation part. And can you not see how it adds to the creepiness of Paranorman? Just look at these zombies and tell me that you're not the least bit unnerved by them. Because I know I was, and I know kid me did not like that. But these are 5 shows, movies, cartoons that you definitely need to check up on this Halloween to make this Halloween season awesome for you. I would like to say a big thank you to ArteiceTB, Otaku Loaf, and ShadeX for appearing in this video. It was so fun to work with them. Definitely go and check out all their channels, which I will have linked below. If you did enjoy this video, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to comment, just comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.